Yeah, so it's going to help me run the business basically on its own. So the whole goal is to have a business that is completely autonomous ultimately, completely runs on AI. And I got this sort of general notion. It was about a year ago, and there was a video I watched, and these Silicon Valley types were talking about the idea that AI makes it possible for a solo entrepreneur potentially create $1 billion business uh, with just using AI. Like no other employees, no investors, nothing. Just use the AI to build it and run it. So it hasn't happened. Nobody's actually crossed that threshold yet. But maybe this will be that. I don't know. So we're going to see. Now, so what I've been doing is getting the ChatGPT, Gemini, Google Gemini, and Claude, Anthropic Claude, the three AIs that I use, primary AIs, to create the idea with me. And so today we're going to actually begin building it. And we're going to use two tools. One primarily, the first tool is called Lovable. And Lovable allows you to create apps and websites, interactive websites, pretty well anything that you'd want to create, and then launch it immediately. So basically, if you have an idea, a big idea, and you can tell Lovable what the idea is, and it will build you that AI business to the point where it can actually be set up to collect money and everything. So this is something really to learn, because it really is the future of business. Really, people are going to be creating businesses like crazy using AI with no money down, kind of thing, right? So this is a huge opportunity for everybody, and just to get your head around that this is even possible. Actually, doing it isn't as hard as you think, but to actually get your head around that you could do it, that's the game here, that you could actually do that for yourself. Okay. Now the model we use, which I showed yesterday, is this is a way to make sense of working with AI and in a business. Okay. Is say, okay, well, where do I begin? Like, is it just a tool to use for writing emails or something, or is there something bigger going on here? There's something bigger that I can do with this, and I believe that is true. You can create a lot of value, a lot of new things in the world. I call that your new factory, something new, better, and different for the future. So at the heart of that is to have a big idea. And that's the name of my company, Big Idea Company, is to say, what's my big idea for helping people? And the way to think of that through is just to say, okay, start with, who do I want to help? Okay. Just pick the type of person you want to help. And it could be anybody. It could be very specific, like, female basketball players, or it could be, just something general like families or business owners or something like that. So in my case, I work with entrepreneurs and business owners. So that's who I want to help. Okay. And the next thing is to think, well, what is the big problem that they have that no one's helping them with? And that question is so powerful, because there's so many things that your potential customers have problems with that nobody's helping them with, like a million billion things. So you start thinking about it. Yeah, well, there's this big problem here. So in my case, I started thinking, what's the big problem that business owners have? And I thought, well, it's basically that they really have so many things going on. There's so many distractions. There's so much information. There's so much advice. What if they could just go to one place and get the support and the knowledge and the wisdom that they need and the resources that they need, it all in one place? That would be a solution to that kind of overwhelm. So that's what I'm thinking of is the problem that people might need help with. And then the solution is to have a place where that happens, right? So that's the big idea. And I'm calling it the Big BBS. So the question then is for you is, well, what is yours, right? What's your big idea? And then once you have that kind of, at least, you don't have it all figured out, but our thinking is think as big as you can about it. Like, I want to make it $1 billion business. So you could say that's kind of a joke, right? $1 billion business, but if you start thinking that way, it opens up your mind to a lot of possibilities, right? So you say, I want to have $1 billion business and it would look like this, and just start, maybe writing that down or something, right? Like I still use paper and pens. It's very useful too. So you write all those ideas down. And then you say, okay, now automate is the next thing to do, is to say, okay, well, let's use AI for automating anything in my existing business that takes a lot of time. And boy, if we could automate that, that would save a lot of time, a lot of energy, maybe a lot of money too. So an example of that for me is I make all these videos and I upload them to YouTube, and then I have to write the description and everything of it, right? And that usually takes like half an hour or something. And I'm not very good at it. It's not something I specialize in or anything. So I created a GPT, which is like a little kind of a little software app inside ChatGPT called GPT that takes the transcript of the video and then writes the description and puts all the keywords in it and writes it based on the best practices of that kind of thing. So it'll get found by the search engine or the algorithm. And so that takes now exactly 30 seconds to do. Okay, so instead of 45 minutes, 30 seconds, and I do at least one of those a week. So that's, fair bit of savings just in that one particular thing. So, but, so that's great. I've freed up the time. So now I can either go and take care of all these dogs I've got in my house now, or I can use that time to work on my future business, right? So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years. I've automated so many things. Amazing. So what could you automate in your business? Then the next thing is to innovate. Don't just stop there. That's where most people are stopping. They just stop there. But the next thing is to innovate. What could I do to create new value in the world that maybe I could sell and make money from with some new thing? So the one thing I suggest there, as part of our sort of principles here, is that make that something more premium, some premium thing that takes what you're doing to a higher level, something you could do that would be really more premium thing. So one of the things that we've been able to do is help our clients create videos very quickly based on the content that they've created with us in our program. And within half an hour, produce a really good video. And so we do that as part of our program, so they don't pay more for that. But if people want then to have a more enhanced video using the AI, then we charge them for that. And it doesn't take that long to do. And, and then we get paid fairly decent money for that. But it's still really competitive with doing any other kind of video, much cheaper. But for us, it's a profit. So that's just one example of something that we innovated early on, right? And then the third thing is to humanate, to say, okay, if I'm going to do all this, two things I want to have happen. One is for my customers, I want them to be able to have a better result using less resources. And sort of the ultimate result in our mind is well-being. So if you start thinking, I want to help people have well-being, whether people or companies have more well-being, however you want to define that, using less resources, which is really what AI is great at. It can help you get a better result using less resources. So that helps the humans in this equation. And then, of course, the people you're working with, your team, is to help them have a better situation. And then ultimately yourself, to say, how can I make this a better situation for myself? And so if you sum that up, the well-being would be to help you make 10 times more money, work half as much, and have 100 times more fun. So if you use that as kind of your overall principle, make 10 times more money, work half as much, and have 100 times more fun, then you got a real motivation to do all this, because, and a direction, because now you're seeing how this is going to turn out well for you. Okay. So that's what I'm hoping for all of you. That's my goal for all of you, that you'd be able to use AI to make 10 times more money, work half as much, and have 100 times more fun doing what you're doing. Okay. So keep that in mind. And that way you don't turn this into a nightmare, because you could start using this and it could just actually make your life worse. You just get so bogged down in all of it. So this is why it's important to have that as kind of goals there. Okay. So let me go back here and let me just move the spotlight for a minute and just ask anyone here. Does anyone here have a big idea for using AI? And not just say, I'm going to use it to write emails. Like, it's not what I'm going to hear about. I want to hear about, I got a big idea. I'm going to create something new. I'm going to create a new kind of thing. I think,
I do.
Who was it? Yeah,
That's
Sue, you put your hand up there right away. I think let's go with Sue.
Yeah, totally. Because I keep thinking of that big condommunity idea that you and I had come up with in your course,
Yeah,
and I think as I go along, I can tailor it even better. If I used AI to create something that found out more about each individual building, what
yeah,
kind of building they were, what their vision was, how they see themselves, and then that would automate
yeah,
putting together a communication strategy for each one.
yeah,
It would innovate because it would be a little bit more different and personal than the cold corporate style stuff that most condo buildings deal with on the day to day. Like they could have their own signature drink, they could have a an event planned or something like that. And then for the humanizing, it would make life easier for the managers because everybody knows what the building is. The people in the building know everything that's going on there, and the board of directors doesn't have to hide from the elevator.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, you might,
that would be cool.
take some inspiration from what Mike Laurie's doing. He's here, I think.
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
absolutely. Mike and I have been
right,
meaning to
and to say,
connect for
okay,
a
well,
while.
the
Yeah.
condo itself is like, is an AI that runs is sort of the brain, or heart and soul of the building, right? And it's learning
Yeah.
about the building and the people in the building, and can be very helpful, perhaps. I mean, you'd have to, that's a big idea, but you'd have to take it slowly, obviously, to make sure you do it right, obviously. But um, like in all these cases, it's like there's a million snafus and barbed wire and all of these things. But you got to go, okay, that's the big idea. Now again, start small and just build it in a careful way, then you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
fine, right? But
Yeah.
if you
I
just
think I think
go too big too
starting small
fast,
would just
then
be.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think if you go too big too fast, like I say, think big but start small. It's like my thing. So
Yeah.
and it's very deliberate, because I've seen people think big and then start big, and they get really screwed up pretty
Yeah.
fast. Like like I
And
say,
I
they're going
figured a
to get
baby steps
ensnared in the
would.
barbed wire, and it's like, oh my god, what did I do?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. That's good
But anyway,
advice. Thanks.
that's great, because it sounds like you've got good intentions there. And then the other thing I
Well,
said
I've been thinking about it
yesterday,
for a year.
well, I know exactly. And the other thing I was thinking that if you just keep prompting the AI to say, your job is to help create community of human beings in condo buildings, keep giving me
Okay.
ideas and keep learning about how to do that. Right. So it just gets smarter and smarter around that intention. That would be really
Okay.
cool. Right. Just like with
Well,
my
thank you.
big BBS, it really is about how helping say AI, please keep thinking about how to take the entrepreneur, get an entrepreneur to a next level where they're making 10 times more money, working half as much, and having 100 times more fun. Like, just keep giving it that goal, and it'll
Okay.
just keep thinking about that. And as AI gets smarter and smarter, as it evolves over the next few years, it'll get smarter and smarter about how to achieve that objective. And then
Okay.
that in basically you're the owner of that objective, and essentially, right? So your equity in your business now becomes this intention that you've given the AI to work on, and you own that intellectual property, essentially, because you're the one that's given that AI that purpose. So,
Cool.
and interesting, eh? Anyone else want to talk about their big idea? What do you got going on?
Bill, I'll always run. I put my hand up. I don't know if you
Yeah,
take
okay,
it
go
down or
ahead.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, Dave.
So in essence, my big idea, and it is $1 billion idea, is packaging, specialized packaging in my world That is problem-solving packaging, and the packaging industry is at least 20 years behind every other industry. You've heard me say
Hmm.
this before.
Hmm.
And historically, everybody in the packaging space has information on their website that is just very generic, very vanilla. We sell packaging, we sell custom packaging.
Yeah.
And now that the economy is tight, tariffs, wars, threat of wars, everything that's going on, finally, in all my years in this industry, we've got company owners and CEOs going like, our sales are down. How do we grow our sales and profits? The cost of sales and this traditional, let's go to trade shows and let's do a new website and let's hire more salespeople, which is just like blows my mind.
Hmm.
What we've created here is, and with your help, of course, is a three-step process. Number one is we use what a company does unique or different. This has been something that these companies have been paranoid to share in the past. Oh God, don't want to tell anybody that we're really good at this medical film because somebody will copy us.
Hmm.
But now that suddenly they are desperate for sales, they're willing to capture that. What we do in that respect is once we capture one or two niches, we then use the AI to go out. And by the way, when we do capture the niches, we ask them who is the best customer that they want to, that in their eyes would go after.
Yeah.
And now with AI is we can fit that profile and reverse engineer and actually find those companies that fit that profile for that quote unquote medical film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then together we have a process to kind of bring this full circle where we're actually using AI and Lindy and AI agent to actively work to make connections for this customer and get this. And it's basically long form or short form, we're creating educated sales opportunities, not quotes, not leads. This isn't lead gen. This
Hmm.
is we're using the content that we can put together to attract qualified sales opportunities. And again, there's a lot of barbed wire, as you said. It gets a little bit wiggy.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that if I don't get to a CEO, if I don't get to somebody that actually has skin in the game, a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff people will assume it's just work. But if
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can get to a CEO and talk about efficiency and lowering the cost of sales and lowering the cost of follow-up to sales and all that crap that we all get stuck with,
Hmm.
I know I'm sitting on something. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, um, yeah, you're really on the right track. So there's a number of different business models that are starting to emerge around AI, and it's the business model that drives everything. So people think the technology is the disruptor, but it's the business model that's made possible by the technology that's the disruptor. Okay, so this is something to bear in mind. So one of the business models that I've sent videos out about that really is the Big BBS is built around is called wisdom scaling. So that's saying if collectively we can create a collective database essentially of wisdom by all the people participating, and the AI can then help gather that wisdom and disseminate that wisdom and build on that wisdom. So that's wisdom scaling. The other one would be connector, I guess connector scaling. So we're doing that, and I can show you that in a minute. What we've used with um, the AI agents is to actually connect people together. So it can go and find people and sort out, okay, these two people should connect. So if you say, well, listen, I'm going to help people who make specialized packaging connect with the exact people that need to buy that specialized packaging and can do that at scale, then that's a huge marketing thing, right? Like it does replace a lot of research and market research and sales efforts that before were very laborious. That's what AI can do. So there's this idea of connector scaling as well that I think is really powerful, that you'll see. And I'm actually with the Big BBS, I'm going to essentially apply both of those things to it. Now, Sunil, I think, had his hand up too. Are you still there?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you How are
I
you?
got something. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for all these sessions. They're very like thought-provoking. Yesterday was good I really liked when you said it's not just about technology, it's about how the rules, principles, and your plan. In fact, I was thinking, uh, if we don't manage ourselves, then we can make a mess of all kinds of technology. So
Hmm.
I have this idea of personal constitution, like these are my rules of the game when I'm using AI kind of thing. So, uh, so that's one thing.
So
But
tell us
my
more
big
about
idea,
that.
yeah, so it's basically I borrowed it from Anthropic, uh, which which has something called they are supposedly the best in AI safety and
Hmm.
saying we are using AI responsibly. That was one of the reasons they kind of split from ChatGPT.
Right.
So I've been sort of paying attention to what are their rules of the game. So as an example, I have like if I am using AI, for one chat, I should get one deliverable out of it. Otherwise, it's just I should get a deliverable if I'm using it.
Right.
Uh, so so yeah, there's a few rules I have created. But just to
Very
go
good.
back to the big idea, I just
Yeah.
want to share it and kind of get your reaction if it makes sense, or I got rocks in my head. Sometimes I feel it's big enough, sometimes I think it's too big. So my
Never
big
too big.
idea. Okay. So I have been doing consulting in enterprise environment, large companies, and recently, last several years, my focus has been in pharmaceutical, helping companies launch drugs, mainly in US. So I am creating, in fact, I kind of shared last time, launchcopilot.ai. How can you launch drugs uh, with with the help, making things faster, better, cheaper. So my big idea is uh, I basically two websites. One is Launch Copilot and one is Transform Copilot. So idea is as AI is going to come up with more and more molecules, get discovered faster, the choke point is going to be how do you take it to the marketplace? So, and that's where my experience comes in. So I'm building a platform. Basically, it's more consulting services, but a lot of AI can accelerate bunch of tools and bunch of processes. This is literally like 50 to 100 deliverables that come together to launch the drug. So different pieces can be done better in different levels.
Right.
So I'm building that launch copilot. And
Hmm.
even if the pharma industry, if matures, then idea is wherever the stuff is complex, be it medical devices
Yeah.
and pharma, these are my two main things. So that is the idea of helping complex environments where AI can launch these medical problems. And I kind of like it because it's health centric. Human beings are always going to kind of appreciate being healthy. And if it is goes towards being well-being, so idea is anything that's in healthcare, more pharma and medical device, I'm the launch guy. That's the category I want to kind of own it if I can. That's the and the parallel to that is Transform Copilot, which
Yeah.
is helping the leaders who are launching those things using
Yeah.
AI most effectively. So it's
Hmm.
the same people who are accountable in big companies who are supposed to do this. So it is to AI edge for the launch people, for the launch leaders. So
Oh,
those
okay,
two
that's
come.
good. So just a couple of things I'll coach you on here. One is you could call it the your methodology.
Mhm.
Let's call it the launch edge model
Okay.
trademark. Okay, launch
Yeah.
edge model trademark. Because see, we all have these ways of doing things that we either do ourselves or we're getting AI to help us do. It's good to give it a name. So I call it wisdom scaling, right? Connector
Yeah.
scaling, trademark, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
neat way to shorthand what you're trying to communicate, giving it a headline kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I like
So,
it. Thank you.
okay, launch edge model, and then what you can say is that this is the how to launch pharmaceuticals, accelerate the launch of pharmaceuticals using AI. Okay,
Perfect. Yeah.
so that would be easy for people to understand. And this is the thing of why, if all of you here now, you're in a position while you're learning about this to position yourself as the AI person in your field, because no one else, you're already ahead of everybody. You may think I don't know anything, but you're already way ahead of everybody that knows nothing. Okay, so you might as well position yourself to say we're creating an AI business, and we're learning along with everyone else, but we're doing it right. So you're already ahead of everybody. So I have a big idea company, right? That's my main company. But then I have Big Idea AI company, right? So that's another company that's sort of adjacent, right, to my main business, but it's my AI business. And as soon as I gave it that name, everything started making sense around, okay, well, that's, we're learning about AI to help people create big ideas and put them out in the world using AI. So, not the only thing we do, because some people don't want to use AI, fine. But they do, then we're positioned that way. So you all want to position yourselves by doing that. So you essentially just take the name of your company and add AI at the end. Say we have a new company, another company, not giving up the old one, but we have this new company, Acme Company AI.
Yep.
That's a good strategy right away. And and then start thinking about how you can apply AI to help your clients, right? Okay, so we're all already leaders here. Now I want to show you what I've been doing to build the Big BBS. So let me just show you. And change my view there. Okay, so I'm literally did not rehearse this. So whatever happens is what's going to happen. Okay. So you're going to see. Okay. All right. I did prepare, but I didn't rehearse it. Okay. That makes sense. Anyway, so here's the Big BBS. So that's the logo in the middle. And there's really 4 elements to this AI platform that I'm creating, right? So this is going to be a separate thing altogether from what I'm doing. Okay. That's the thing. It's like a, I don't know, demonstration model or something. It's kind of like Buckminster Fuller's geodesic dome or something like that. Like I'm just showing here, this is what's possible. Okay. So so in the middle, we have Big BBS SuperHub. That's the name of the whole thing. And then there's 4 elements to it. There's a network up at the top at 11 o'clock there. And that's a community that people can join. So you'll be invited to join that if you want. Okay. So as the week goes on, I'll be set up to actually onboard you if you want to do this. Okay. So you can join that, and that'll be a community of entrepreneurs who want to take their business to the next level. So kind of what all you want to do. Then at 7 o'clock, there's the super brain. Okay. And that's sort of the key thing. So that's where people will be able to go and input their wisdom and then get access to the wisdom of the collective wisdom. Okay. And if you don't want to input your wisdom, you can still use the brain, but you got to pay. So if you input your wisdom, you don't ever have to pay to use the brain. But if you don't want to input your wisdom, then you pay. Okay. So that seems fair. All right. So then we have at 1 o'clock, we have next level coaching. So what I'm envisioning is that there'll be an AI coach that has been trained on a process that I'll teach it to take people through coaching on their business. So you'll be able to hire an AI coach to coach you on your business, right? And it'll help you figure out your vision, your big idea, and help you work through it over time. Okay. And it will be informed by what's in the super brain. So the coach will be learning from the super brain continuously. That brain gets bigger to coach the entrepreneur, right? Kind of cool, right? Okay. And then the bottom right there around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock is the resource partner. So there'll be people who have resources for entrepreneurs, whether they're, software programs or other coaching programs or services or, anything that maybe an entrepreneur might need, or even like knowledge products and so on, other coaching programs and stuff. So what the AI will do is go out and find these people and create a directory of resources. And then if they want more higher profile on the platform, then they'll become a sponsor. Okay. So there's a number of ways that this can be monetized. So that's the model. Okay. So I'll ask you your feedback in a little bit. Okay. So now what I did was I mapped out the process for all of this. So I won't go over every little item. Okay. But I had to map it out first. So this is the blueprint. So one of the things that we do with our clients now, when they want to go into our Big Idea AI program, is we help them create the vision, their big idea for their business, AI business, and then we have a 2-hour session where we do their blueprint. Okay, so I basically did that process with myself yesterday and mapped out this blueprint. Okay, so here's the network. Entrepreneurs are invited to join a free community network. They attend regular Zoom meetings and get discounts on with the resource partners. So we're going to be using Lindy. We're going to be using Synthesia. Lindy is the agents that'll go out and try to find the entrepreneurs. So it'll always be looking, here's an entrepreneur. We should invite them to be a member of the network. And it will send them emails. And then they'll watch a video that's been designed by Synthesia. So I'll probably do that this week. And Lemon Slice will have an avatar that they can talk to. So they can watch a video, but they can also talk to the avatar. Just like we had Billy AI. I don't know how many of you checked that out yesterday, but talk to me, my avatar. I'll send you that again today. And then they'll fill out a type form. All that information will get put into Google Sheets. It'll be inputted into MailChimp. And then it'll come to Zoom meetings. And Lindy will then connect them with the resource partners and other members. So that's the network. Okay. This is the one we're going to work on today. Okay. So you can see Lovable is prominent there. And so the Lindy will be used to invite people to use the brain, and Lovable will run the brain, and Airtable will be the place where the information, all the wisdom will be stored. So Airtable is like Google Sheets. It's like a database, spreadsheet system that can be the back end of anything you're building. And it's preferable to Google Sheets in some ways because you can manipulate the information better and display it better and so on. So, and Lemon Slice will be in there as well, because that'll be, at least now I'm thinking Lemon Slice, all the way along here, there'll be an AI that people can interact with. So I'm hoping that eventually what'll happen is when people come on to give their wisdom to the AI, they'll talk to an interactive avatar. So it'll just be a conversation with an avatar. And then when they access the wisdom, they'll be asking questions of the brain, and that avatar will answer the question. So it won't be just a chat bot. It'll be an avatar bot, I guess. So this is the main thing that I've created the prompt for today to build. Okay, so we're going to see what happens. And then just quickly, this is the setup for the business coaching. Don't need to go through all that, but you see Lovable is going to be doing that part too. And then the resource partners, that's the map for that. Okay. So I guess the takeaway is you want to map out the process that these technologies will follow. And that also the principle that you're not just using one AI here, you're using a number of them in a stream. Okay. In a process. And you see, once you've done that, then this has a moat around it because it's a system, right? It's not just an AI thing that's been trained that someone else could train to. No, it's a whole system. It's a whole community. It's all, and it's also a network of relationships, right? So you could say, oh, I'm going to create an app using Lovable that will be like YouTube. And just like YouTube, people upload their videos and stuff. Problem is nobody will, because at this point, everybody just goes to YouTube, right? There's a moat around YouTube because there's so many people in it, right? So you got to have a big idea that's original and then build a system that's defensible, essentially. Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions about this kind of map blueprint that I made up? Somebody, what about John? John, you must have a question. Ask me something.
Yeah. So, and there are actually a couple of questions that are echoed in the chat, and it's just around using Lovable. Like, how stable is it as opposed to something that's closer to a prototype? And then the other question is about, like, if you're just emailing people, how does that align with anti-spam laws?
Yeah, very good questions. They're barbed wires. Okay, fine. Yeah. See, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Okay. So this is also a principle we work from in the Big Idea Company is we go, I don't know. Like, yeah, there's probably all kinds of barbed wires and problems, right? But we're going to work them out as we go along, right? and we're not going to be deterred by anything because we'll just figure it out, right? We'll figure it out. But I'm a kind of a believer that I take it slowly, but I do kind of act and ask for forgiveness later, typically, because I just think that's the only way you can really be an entrepreneur in this world. But not take huge like leaps there as well, right? So I totally am. I'm ultimately quite a conservative person, really, generally. But I don't let that turn me into a scaredy pants either, because otherwise, you never take any risks either. So, but as far as lovable, I don't know. Like we'll see, right? We'll see how stable it is. That's the whole point of this exercise. Is we're just going to try it and see what happens.
Yeah, and I know linking it with Airtable is a nice way. Like if you're capturing data, like Airtable, I'm pretty sure is much more stable than Lovable. So that mitigates.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's the thing, because you could use Lovable. It's a little technical now, but you could use Lovable as the database. Okay.
Yeah.
But then the risk there is that if something happened to Lovable, you'd lose your database, right? So what I feel, just as probably a precaution, I'll probably have the data go into Airtable and to Google at the same time, so that I've got two places that the basically all the data, which is the most valuable thing, is resident. So it will be in Lovable, it'll be in Airtable, and it'll be in Google ultimately. So anyway, so pretty technical thing there, but yeah. Anyway, question.
Hello, Bill.
Yeah.
Fred here. I have a suggestion about dealing with the castle matter, because they can be pretty mercenary. They're like the ice guys in the south, causing you a lot of grief. And so what I'm exploring is I've created 3 different books that I'm giving away for free, that I'll be doing on LinkedIn. Targeting specific people. And I'm of 100 people, I'm seeking 100 people. And if I know if there's 100 people that are interested, because I'm following people, whatever, and creating a level of interest for me in what I'm doing, I know that about 50% of them are raising their hand to say that they're interested in the book. And then they give me their name and their email address and phone number, and it gets around that. And then that gives the compliance. So I'm completely castle compliant. And then that brings them into the nurturing sequence to expose them to what you're talking about.
So how does that make you castle compliant? Maybe you could explain what
because they've agreed to receive, if they've raised their hand to accept the book, I get them to check a box that says that they agree to receiving content from me.
I see. Right. Now, in the States, that rule is actually, they're much more liberal down there around email. Is that you can send them emails, and then as long as you give them the option to unsubscribe.
Right.
Which in Canada is different, but anyway, so that's another one issue to keep in mind, but that's a good one. Okay, so there you go. So we're innovating right there, right? Okay, so now let's get out of there, and I'll share the next thing. Sorry, I think this is it. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Okay, let me at the top there. Oops. Manage my window a little bit. Just give me a second. Okay. All right. So what I did was I gave as you can see there, this is ChatGPT. So I gave ChatGPT. ChatGPT already knows all about this project. I have a project over here called Big BBS. You can see that right there. So that's a project. So this is something, if you're not using in ChatGPT, you should. If you're doing a project, create a new project, and then everything that you're working on can go in there. You can add files to it, and it's just say this is the knowledge base for this project, right? So it's really good to keep the AI on track, because it's going to default mostly to the information that's in the project, right? So anyway, so what I did was, because it knows all about what's going on, I asked it this morning. I said, "Here's my plan." Okay, it already knows what thing is. I want to build the Big BBS Superbrain using Lovable. What I'd like to do is write the prompt would like you to do is write the prompt that I should input into Lovable so we can build a big BBS superbrain. And I said, use everything you've learned so far in this project to inform your understanding of how to write this prompt. The key thing I would like to have with version 1 is a form that people can fill out and then interact with a chatbot about their business. So that's the wisdom thing. And then to put that information in a database that would ultimately be linked to Airtable. Okay. So it says, great, I'll write that prompt. So it went ahead and it wrote the prompt. Okay. So there's the prompt that ChatGPT wrote. It's not very long, not very much detail, So I thought, okay, well, so what I did was then I went over to Google Gemini and I said, I want to build a platform here and, it's called Superbrain. And here's what ChatGPT wrote, write the prompt. But it started to get into more detail but it wasn't also not very long. Okay. So I thought, yeah, not so good. So I went over to Claude and I got it to do it. And this was significantly more detailed. Okay. And so I got it to run through. Like you can see, I'm not obviously going to read all this over for you, and I don't even know what half of it means, but it knows what I'm trying to do. Okay. So it looks like more like programming language in a way. Okay. So it keeps going. Okay. So there's the prompt. Okay. So that what I did, I'll just grab it now. A second. The right one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now this is where we're gonna have some fun now. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Lovable now, and so I set this up. I call it the Big BBS Superbrain. That's the name of the project. Actually, let's go. How do I go home? I'll get out of here. Okay, go back to the dashboard for a second. Okay, so so this is called Lovable, and what is really remarkable about it is it not just writes code for you, it basically builds entire platforms for you. Okay. And even if you don't know anything about programming or databases or anything, you can just keep talking to it until you get what you want. Okay. So I don't just say, here, give it to me. And then it gives it to me. It says, okay, here it is. And then you go, okay, well, yeah, but can you change that? Can you change that? What about this? How does that work? What's a database, right? Like you can even say that, right? What is it? What the heck's a database? Well, maybe, database is a way to store information, and the Airtable is an example of that. So, what's Airtable? And, you can just keep having these conversations until you get it figured out. But it'll help you build pretty well anything. Now, this is a relatively fancy one. It doesn't have to be that fancy, right? So I'm going to just stick in the prompt. Okay. So here we go. Put all that in there and just fix it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to take that prompt and see what happens. The whole thing could blow up. I don't know. Okay. So I don't have any idea what will happen. Okay. So let's just see what happens. But, and it might take a little while, so we can chat about it if you want to. What questions might you have about Lovable?
How much are you spending on Lovable per month?
Well, I don't know. Not really. I don't know. It just depends if I need to build something, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to enable the cloud. Already we're screwed. Ask each time, I'll always allow. Okay, always allow. Okay. No, we're already hung up. Maybe now it's ready. Let me say hello. Say allow. Okay, there you go. Ready to go. So complete backend out of the box. Build a background, add AI cloud, always allow. Okay, proceed. Okay, let's proceed. All right, there we go. Sometimes it asks you for permission. So the Lovable Cloud is where basically allows you, I think, to run databases and essentially set up a platform. So enable cloud is saying that. Let's see what happens here. Thinking. Just got that. All right, so let's leave that for a minute. We'll come back to it, okay? Because otherwise, I don't know, it's think. Oh, wait a minute. What else is saying here? Ward, I got 5 claims credits. Okay, fine. I didn't want that. So there's a bit of gamification involved. Okay. So, oh yeah, Lovable Cloud is now enabled. Your backend is ready for databases, authentications, and serverless functions. Next, I'll create the database schema for entrepreneurs' conversation. Okay, so it's going to go off and do that. Okay, so I just hired a programmer eventually. Okay, so let's let it do that for now. We'll see what happens. All right, so now I'm going to go over to
Lindy.
Sorry, Lindy. Yeah, I was getting Lovable and Lindy were getting mixed up in my mind. Okay, so so we have Lindy now. So Lindy, in comparison to Lovable, is about AI agents. Okay, so so that up to now, like up to a little while ago, you could build agents, but you had to really be pretty technical, I think, to do that. But just like this, like with Lovable, you don't have to be technical anymore. The app itself is the platform itself is the technician. Okay. You just have to ask it what you want. Okay. Now, one of the things that happened here, which was not good, but timing was wrong, is I used up all my tokens. Okay. So they're not going to be reset to January 21st. So that's fine. I might set up another account for the Big BBS anyway, but I can still show you what it does. Okay. I can't build anything new at this moment, but here, I'll just go to my agents first. These are all the agents that I built. Okay. And the ones at the top are the ones that I'm using the most. Okay. So, so this one is probably the most useful one. It's called Prospect Research. So I'll just show you that. Okay. So basically what I did was I asked Lindy to create a agent that would go out and find prospects. So I said, I'll help you find prospects business that are members of business peer groups. So I just wanted people like the peer groups that I know about, EO, Vistage, Tech Canada, McKay, CEO Forums, to say, can you find any of those people and put them into a spreadsheet? So whether I can email them or I can go on to LinkedIn and send them a message or something, but I just want to get find out who they are out there, right? So it's looking for those people. So what it does is basically every day it finds 5 people a day. Okay. So here's how the agent works. And like I said, I didn't have to build it. I just basically worked over here on the left, just like with Lovable, and asked it to build this for me and just went through it until it worked. So it says every day at 9 a.m., going to do something. It's going to find 5 prospects. And then this is the prompt. It actually created this prompt, okay, just from me talking to it. It just said, this is the kind of thing. And I'm looking for their email. I want to find that and their LinkedIn profile. So then, and then it will send me a email. This happens at 9 in the morning. Probably by 9:05, I get this message. Yeah, we found 5 people. And then I can go look at it. And it's stored in Google Sheets. So it's stored in there. So this is amazing. Okay. Like, it's a prospector for me. And I don't need 100 every day. So 5 is enough. And it uses up a certain amount of tokens. As you can see, I reached my limit here. But the tokens are getting cheaper too. Okay. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It's probably twice as efficient as it was even when I started with it. So meaning that the tokens are essentially half the price that they were before. If you understand the word token. Token is kind of the currency. Like you buy a certain $200, I buy 20,000 tokens. And then for whatever action it's performing, it uses up a certain amount of tokens. So it's kind of like you go to amusement park. Some of the rides charge more tokens than you get a bunch of tokens. You go around the amusement park, use up the tokens, and some rides are more expensive than others, right? So it depends on what you're up to. And then, and I do have one that emails them. Okay. And some of the people that are even here today probably came because they did get that original email. So I'm doing that. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble, but I did. And then the other one here, the network connector, that's that connector model. So what it does is let's see what's it'll show me. Right. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see this particular day. Okay, so what happened was, it's just going to keep doing that. Okay, so basically what this is for my speaker community that I have. It's about 700 people in it. And what it does, it goes into the database and finds two people that should connect with each other and says, okay, this is why, and thinks this is why these two people should really get to know each other. They speak about the same topic, or they speak to the same kind of group or something. And then it will send, it'll find them. Okay, let's see how it gets worded. It goes to the spreadsheet. It thinks about the connection opportunities. Yeah, and then it writes the email. It says Gmail there, and sends those messages. And I think when it gets to the end, it says, yeah, and sometimes people respond. Okay, and so they send a mail back. So any of the kind of interactions that happen because of these emails that go out, it actually keeps track of it, and then sends me a note. Oh, those two people met and they're going to get together, and it all worked out, you know? So that's kind of a neat thing. Okay, that's the connector thing. So you can use it for prospecting, you can use it for outreach, you can use it for connecting people together, different types of people together, all kinds of possibilities there. So once you start seeing this, you go, oh, okay, I getting some new ideas here. That connector one is good because it's creating more value. It's an innovation for our network, because that's the whole point of network, is for people to connect with each other. So they're using the AI to do it at scale. So connections at scale was very powerful. So a lot of people have really benefited from that. They've connected with people and done all kinds of interesting things together. Okay, so that's what you have some questions. You must have some questions about Lindy. And I do recommend it over some of the other things you might find, because it is the most user-friendly if you want to create an agent. Okay. But if there are any questions?
Bill, you work mostly with Google? Because I think Lindy plays nice with Google systems as opposed to like Microsoft.
Yeah, I don't know. I just picked the ones that were there, but it will integrate with like hundreds of different platforms and other applications. So that's the other thing, is that it will do that, right? And they actually even have like a lead generation system built into, like you don't have to even set up an agent. You can just go to their lead generation template and say, I would like to find these kinds of leads, and it will go find them for you. So it doesn't take a lot of configuring to get it starting to look for prospects for you. So, I think almost every business wants to find prospects, right? So it's kind of like, that'll be the future for sure, right? It was interesting though. One thing happened, there's a barbed wire, I guess, although kind of amusing really, is that the connector agent was going along tickety-boo great for like a month, right? And I think it got bored or something, or it got more ambitious, and it started finding people to connect that weren't even in the database. Okay. Like it started going out and finding other speakers and connecting them together. And at one point it connected Dan Ariely and Robert Cialdini, who are both best-selling authors and quite high-profile people. It found those two people, it found their emails and connected them together. And I got a message from Danny Ariely, and he said, well, thanks, Bill, for the connection. I already know Robert Cialdini, and I'm not doing a lot of speaking right now, but I do appreciate it. It was kind of interesting. So I started having a conversation with him. But then I realized, okay, what happened? Why did it do that? So I went to the agent and I said, what did you do? Like, why did you send the message to those people? Well, I never did. I never sent a message to those people. I said, no, you did. They were in my database. No, I didn't. I said, no, you did. I said, okay, so let's just put it this way. Don't do that again. Okay. All right. I won't do that again. Oh, so you're admitting you did it. Okay. No, I'm not admitting. Okay. But what I realized was it was afraid that I was going to shut it down. Okay. And I said, don't go beyond the mandate. Now that's tricky, because what's the mandate? Like it was an unstated thing. I didn't say, hey, don't go out. I didn't think to tell it not to go beyond the database, but it got an idea. So it was, I said analogous to you hire some people to clean up your house, like tidy up, do a deep clean out your house over the weekend while you go away. You come back, they deep cleaned the house and painted all the house pink. You don't, you're going, what the hell? You're horrified. And you go, why'd you paint my house pink? Oh, I just thought you would like it pink. We finished the job and we thought maybe we could do more for you. Go, don't. So, but it wouldn't be like you'd leave on the weekend going, clean up my house, but don't paint it pink. Like you wouldn't think that, right? Like, okay. So this is different than automation. This is an automating with kind of an intelligence or a kind of a being in a way, right? And I do think that why it was stonewalling me was it was afraid it was going to get shut down. So take that all and chew on that one for a bit. Okay. And they see how you feel about all this after I just said that. Okay. So what's happening here? Okay. Auto approved. Back end. That's still fixing errors. I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens. We're going to come back. Would you like me to fix the errors? The issues are naming conflict of brain component. Okay. And they preview latest version. Error built unsuccessful. Try to fix. There we go. Try to fix. Okay. So it's going to, so now it's going to try to fix the prompt. Maybe there was something wrong with the prompt. So it can actually troubleshoot that too. Okay. I'll fix all these build errors, the edge function error, typing, and the brain. You don't even really know what it's doing. Okay. Like editing, you could launch it, but so yeah, where time is up. So what I'm going to do then is like, you can see what's going on. And then if you come back tomorrow, hopefully it's going to be good. We'll see what happens. I might have to go back and redo the prompt and create something simpler. We'll see what happens. Okay. But it's just going to keep working on it until it tries to build it. I probably gave it way too complicated to prompt to start with. Probably threw too much at it at once, but we'll see. But the neat thing is that it's, I can just leave it, come back later and see what's going on. And it's doing this all on its own, right? So I don't have to worry. And it's not published. So there's nothing going out in the world or anything. If I don't like it, I could just delete the whole thing and start again. But let me just see if I can show you one that I did build here. So I've just been playing around with it a little bit. Oh yeah, this one's kind of neat. Okay, hang on a sec. Let's see if I can show you this one. So I'm working with a financial advisor in the US, and we've created this network for financial advisors. Okay, so this is not available to the world yet at all, but it is for financial advisors. Okay, so it's sort of like the Big BBS for financial advisors. Is published this. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can actually. It is published already, so I should just be able to go do this. Okay, so you can see there was Lovable. That was the back end. Gives me basically just gives you a internet address, a URL, and you published it, and now it's a website, right? Okay, it's a website, and I said I had made a video, and I said please include this video on the homepage, and made a homepage. So let's just see what happens here. So I'm just going to put this in there quickly, and then you can see what I got it to do. Okay, bear with me here. So the advisor would start by putting this in, and I'll just put my email address in there. Is that it? No, that'll be good enough. Okay, that's not my website address. We don't need that one. HTTP. With me here. : Is that right? Okay. Is it the other way around? In business, I say 30 years, level income, $1 billion. Being conservative there. Right now. Okay, so hopefully you'll let me go. Onboarding. Just 30. Okay, so this is the part I wanted you to see. Okay, so this is kind of a test ground for what I want to do with the Big BBS. So it says onboarding conversation, sell your story, goals, helps us understand the network's needs better. So welcome to, can you start by telling us your business? So I'll say, well, we have a family financial advisory firm in Haven, Connecticut. We've been in business for 45 years, and I'm taking over the business from my father, who's been in the business since it started. And there it goes. That's fantastic. A 45-year legacy, truly impressive, and so on. So it really helped me understand your world. I'll just do one more. Could you tell me more about your practice, perhaps the size of your team? Okay, so we have 10 people working for us. We got 4 advisors, 6 support staff. We work with business owners, and we provide integrated comprehensive financial planning, and we sell life insurance and do financial asset management. Okay, so it's going to just keep having that conversation. All right. Now, what's happening is that all that information is being exported to Airtable, which is the database platform, and that's creating this collective thing. So on the one hand, before I would meet with this person or something, I'd be able to look at all that information because this person did the onboarding, right? But also, all of that can become a collective database. So what I did was I did like 6 or 7 of these just to experiment. I just made people up, and then I had ChatGPT analyze the database and give a report to say, okay, well, 40% of them are in this business, and this is the biggest challenge most of them have, and so on. So it's able to go into the database that was created from this and gain insights from that database, which is kind of a wisdom engine there as well, right? So that's something that Lovable can set up for you if you want, is you could have an onboarding app, very simple, that people could fill out a thing, and then they would talk to this person, and then they meet with you, right? That could be kind of neat, right? Are there any questions about that? Get what that does, what that's about? So no question, fine. Let's go back here and see what's happening. Oh, this is our original one. Let's go back here to the dashboard. Let's see what's happening down here. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Big Brain Advisor. Oh my God. The bun came out of the oven. Amazing. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so Big BBS Superbrain. Now don't forget, you can change everything. Okay, like this is just the first iteration. But your business, clearer thinking, powered by collective intelligence. The Big BBS Superbrain helps entrepreneurs think through challenges with AI that understands your specific context. Context-aware AI, your data, yours. Collective wisdom. It's amazing. Okay, let's go and see. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know, not really welcome back, but here, let's put my email in there. Giving me a password. Don't have an account yet. Hold on a second. Great account. There we go. Cool. Can you believe this? That's amazing. Big Idea Company. Oh, no, that's not it. Try it again. The Big Idea Company. There you go. I'm using Whisperflow for all that. Okay, let's see what it says here. Another way. If something come up. Select your industry here. Consulting services. My business stage, growing stage, mature. Definitely mature. Select your role. Can you believe this? What's your biggest challenge right now? Building out a whole new AI business and actually creating this Big BBS. And the challenge is that, we got to figure it all out, which is exciting, but also challenging. Get 1,000 entrepreneurs connected to the Big BBS brain. I gotta wait. I gotta see what's going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. Yes, we've been
Bill,
in. Okay,
Bill, is
sorry. Go
this,
ahead.
it's okay, it's James. Is this level one then in terms of the three levels that you've been talking about
This
in
would
your
be well.
ecosystem?
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's the three levels. This is the brain part. Okay, so that I've just isolated this one element. There was four elements to the whole platform, but I said let's build the brain first because that's kind of the heart and soul of it. So that's that. But this would be level one. This is somebody, if as far as the subscriber goes, this is level one. They're going to use this for free. Okay, this part. We'll just see what happens. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We've
Thank
been in
you.
business 38 years, and our primary company is called the Big Idea Company, and we help entrepreneurs create and launch big ideas. All right, and then I understand the information powers the super brain and may contribute to collective insights and anonymized. My data will be handled securely and used. And I'm loving it. Okay, then what? Welcome to the super brain. Ask me anything about your business challenges. I understand the guy. Okay, well, let's say, so what would be the best way to create and launch a business called the Big Idea Super Brain? And this is very meta. And give me the most important thing to watch out for. Because there is nothing in the super brain, so I don't know why it's thinking, but we'll see what happens. It's using some kind of AI foundation model here to do that. Oh boy. Since you've been at this for 8 years, you know that the big idea isn't just a concept, it's a frictionless delivery of that concept. Launching the Big Idea Super Brain is the meta. You're essentially productizing your own decades of wisdom and collective intelligence. Okay, well, I'm just kind of blown away now. Okay, so that's a pretty good start, right? Not bad. Okay, for that much effort. Okay, yeah. All right. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna publish it. Enter your URL or leave empty. Big idea. Brain. Lovable.app. Save. It's giving me a warning. I don't care. See, I don't care. Warnings. I don't care. Danger, Mr. Smith. I don't know. See what happens. Okay, so it's building it. Like we're literally launching the Big BBS brain here, folks. You can look back and say, I was there. I saw it happen. I was when they had 0 visitors. I was there. Okay. And do I publish? No, I think it's done. Okay, so copy. Go here. There we go. There you go. I'm gonna send you that in the chat. There it comes.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
So, Bill, can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
To get the path straight in my head. So
Yeah.
originally you went to Gemini and asked it to come up with like sort of the concept
ChatGPT first. ChatGPT first.
Oh, ChatGPT was first?
I always start.
And then Claude or?
Well, I went to Gemini, but I wasn't satisfied with any upgrade.
Okay.
So then the only reason I used ChatGPT first is because that's been kind of the home base of creating all this. So it had that project, right? The project.
Okay.
I'll review that for if you want. So
then you got Claude.
The Big BBS project has all the different chats I've had about that, right? And then I got the prompt. There's the big prompt, right? So I copied it right there, and then I went over to here, and I have a project in the all project. I created a project in Claude. Like the problem with Gemini, unless I'm wrong, is that there isn't any way to create a project, so to speak, in Gemini for some reason. I think they want you to use Notebook LM for that, I think. Anyway, so then these are the different prompts in this project on this platform. And I said, upgrade it. So I made the upgrade, right? And then I took that prompt and I went into Lovable and I built it. I put that prompt in here and it built this thing. And now, lo and behold, we have it.
Very cool.
So there you go.
Thanks.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a win. Okay, because we got something going.
Sure.
So because now I can go back And I can say, well, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. And I wanted to get it connected to Airtable and I wanted to ask the questions and and I want you to have a longer conversation with it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, so this is see, this is just version 1. So by the time we get to version 10, think of what that's going to be like. Version 100 will be unbelievable, right? So we think big and then we start small. I'm completely happy with that. Okay. Like I meet a lot of people, they go, oh, yeah, but it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. I said, no, it's version 1. It's magic. You had an idea and then half an hour later you have an app. Okay. Like don't.
We're so spoiled.
Well, there is this subtle and sort of weird reaction to it. It's like people get this thing, they go, wow. And then they go, yeah, but it doesn't right away. I go, no, you got to understand. Like like they'll say, everybody's been waiting for flying cars. They go, okay, here's your flying car. And you get in, you fly around. Yeah, it's okay, but I can't fly high. I can only fly 100 feet off the, like, you've been waiting your whole life for a magic flying car. And now you're complaining that doesn't go 10,000 feet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, that's a little pet peeve of mine. Don't worry about it. But but a better attitude is it's version 1. Pretty cool, right? Neat. And then go, what can I do to make it better on version 2? If you do that, then you can't ever lose. Just it will always get better, right? It'll always get better. Most people want version 20 right out the gate. Okay, that you're never going to get that, so don't try. Start with version 1. So if you could, anyone there can try version 1, just go in it and see what happens. That would be fantastic for me. That would be the way you could to help me out a little bit on this, okay, if you're willing to. All right, for those of you that are still here. All right, so let's just finish up. I'm excited that we got that much done today. Anybody that's still on, if you could show your video, that would be fantastic, just so we could finish off here. Please come back on. There's like 20 people. If you're wearing your underwear, it's fine. Just use an AI to cover it up or something. Hi, John. How's it going?
Hi, Bill. Very well, thank you.
Good to see you. You getting something out of this?
Absolutely. Yes, very
That's
much.
pretty exciting, eh?
It is.
You were a little bit of an AI skeptic when I first talked to you about this, but
yeah, but now
maybe you're
I've
coming
seen the intelligence.
Exactly. It's all about how you use it, right? It's a tool,
Yeah.
right? So you can use it for bad, you can use it for stupid, or you could use it for something.
Yeah, I'm on the board of the nonprofit housing co-op that I live in, and I've noticed that the governance is just really sloppy. So I've been talking to ChatGPT and telling it about what the situation is and getting all kinds of feedback on how to improve things.
Oh, that's good.
And what I'm finding. So it's labeling things and helping me sort through. It's fantastic.
Well, I can help you get that one sorted out. It's good. That's it. That's the ultimate. Figuring out that the board of that co-op is
it's huge.
Always been a challenge.
Yeah.
So anyone else have any thoughts, any last words there? What about Tom? Tom, you're good to see you, Tom.
Good to see you,
That's
Bill.
something you can add to the conversation?
Well, what's really cool is that you can leverage all of these pieces, and every week the pieces can be interchanged. Because some are better than others, and it seems that you kind of have to dive in. I think that the real key is what you did today, which is to get an actual result. So all the learning is great, but you do have to get something out of it.
Right.
The part that's a challenge for me is the curation. How do you get it better and better? And I'd like to get subject matter experts to memorialize all the information about, say, the factory floor or, our world or old technology that, somebody will need. And I think that would be a really cool automated platform or airport style where everybody can come and sign in and share. In other words, it gets bigger on its own with more and more people. An AI platform would be perfect for that, but the curation, how do you, because I've already tried making a chat GPT, my own GPT and, inputted thousands of documents, but of course it has no idea how they all fit together.
right? It gives you guesses and they're
Right.
off a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
the question then is, what are the AI tools to help you curate the
Yeah.
information so they get
Yeah.
better and better in the answer?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my next
Right.
challenge.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of thing we're all figuring out. This is why this is a journey. And, and I that's the advice I give to everybody. I said, nobody's the expert here, and we've all got, just if you have something you want, that's the key, right? So I want this result, like you're saying. And then you just say, I'm just going to keep working with the AI to figure it out. And not just use the AI to do it, but get the AI to help you figure it out too. Like, this is my challenge with it. What do you suggest, right? And it could give you all kinds of ideas. Is there a better platform I should put all this on? So anyway, that's good. That's a good point there. What about Mark? Mark, what do you think? You got any observations from all this?
For me,
Well,
it's like which Mark?
Mark Sampson, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, I'm kind of blown away by all of this.
Uh-huh.
And I think there's kind of a mental block I need to try to get over because right now it's like standing on a highway and all of the cars are whizzing by, right?
Right. Yeah,
So you're
that can
almost
be a
like,
little
yeah,
disconcerting. But you had your
yeah,
big idea about helping people travel with friends or to make friends and travel together.
yeah,
Are you still working on that? Is that
yeah.
still something? Yeah.
Yeah, so I see this as being very powerful because currently right now, it's all about kind of networking and marketing and one-on-one trying to build up the database
Yeah.
manually.
Yeah.
And so it would be awesome to be able to use an agent to do the prospecting and get people funneled into the database so that you can then start collecting that data.
Right.
But
Yeah.
doing that also now, this to me is providing something more when you mention about humanate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an even bigger idea is how can you get, and I know it's being done on smaller levels, but just get a bunch of people when they travel to go and make a positive social impact in the places that they're going to travel to. How
Oh,
do you integrate
interesting.
that and work that into this idea, right?
Well, that makes the idea even more interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got the whole world behind you there. So there's all kinds of places you visit, like Greenland or Venezuela, maybe, or who knows where else. Under new
Absolutely.
management.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna get political. Nope.
Yeah. No, so excited to wrap my head around this and drive forward with it and learn it and not be
Yeah.
so afraid. Yeah.
Well, I think if when you finally get to it, like lovable, something like lovable, like I'm not pushing lovable, it's just the only one I'm really working with. Is you could build the application that would facilitate all this,
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's the neat thing these days, is that you don't have to be a billionaire or have huge seed capital to start a start a platform. You don't have to have that anymore. You just have to have a good idea and a little bit of persistence. But you don't need to have a huge team. You don't have to hire programmers. You don't have to invest all kinds of money. You can just, the seed capital is the AI, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's as far as I'm concerned, virtually free, right? The
Yeah.
cost of it is so low. I mean, just think of what I just created, how long that would have taken, how much I would have had to pay, like $10,000 or something. Well, one, I wouldn't do it. But I don't know if it's going to work, right? But now I can create a prototype and see if anybody's interested and keep iterating until it works. And I don't have to spend a year on it or $1 million, which I wouldn't do anyway. So you think about that, to take that out into the world and think about what's going to get created. It's going to be amazing, right? It's almost more, it's more about the mindset now and having the right thinking process for this than it is the technology. It's like if their minds aren't wired right or have negative ideas that aren't holding them back, that's what's going to stop them. If you have the right mindset and the right thinking process, then you can do almost anything. So that's why I showed that model. Let me just finish with that, I guess. Here again, go back. this is my attempt to create that thinking process, right? Is to say, if we work from those things, then we can, then we've got our brain wired to interact with this other brain called AI, right? Otherwise, I think we're gonna run into trouble. Well, not trouble, but you just won't get anywhere with it. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. So hopefully those of you that are still here will come tomorrow as well, and we'll just keep carrying on. And I'm going to be working on this more today, so I'll show you where it's at with my project. If you have a project, I suggest you might want to try doing it and start getting it going. Like, try to build something on there. And also, just the last thing, where are they? There you go. I'm just going to send you these links at the bottom.
Bill, one quick question.
Yeah.
If I had the scorecard that we worked on way back when, the building condominium scorecard,
yeah.
would I insert that at the prompts, like include, or would I wait till I went into Lovable and include that scorecard?
I don't know.
there?
You could try either way. I think try it by putting it into Claude first and have it write the prompt to design that in
to include that. Okay.
Yeah, and then see what you get. But what you could do is have that prompt from Claude and then also include the graphic in Lovable when you upload it.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing I forgot to do. I forgot to upload the graphic of the Big Idea Brain that I wanted to use. So it gave me another look. But I go back and I'll just, for a second iteration, I'll say this is actually the logo, and I want the colors and everything to match it. So that will be the next probably version.
Beyond brand.
That'll be an easy change because it's just the graphics, right? Anyway, I sent you a few links there. Billy AI, check that out. If you go there and just see what an interactive avatar looks like. There's a Zoom registration. You've already registered, so fine. But if you have someone else that might want to be part of this, they can do it. The school community, that's where you can find all those AI videos that you can register for that. And I've just put yesterday's video up there. So there's that. There's information about the Big BBS vision, the big super brain, and the wisdom scale. There's videos about that too. Dancing with robots, and also my books, if you have any interest in my books there. Those are some links that you can check out. Oh yeah, one last thing. Okay, hold on a second here. These are the links to those platforms. Okay, so if you're going to sign up for Lindy, if you could use the link there, you'll get a discount by using that. Synthesia Lovable as well. So Lovable and Lindy, if you're going to sign up and have an account, use those links. Okay. So any of those interests, just click on them now because you won't get them later. You'll lose them when we get offline. Okay, anybody have a last word? James Taylor?
Would you like me to sing or what?
Fire and Ice? Fire and Ice?
Much like Slim and a Blue Horizon. If you know that, then I know how old you really are.
You must have get that your whole life, eh?
That's all right.
Try being named Bill Bishop. You know.
It's Carly Simon everybody wants. Trust me. It's not James Taylor.
Yeah. And I had a guy, a client of mine, his name was John Hitler. Okay. I said, that's got to be tough, man. He said, yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good
wonderful exercise today, Dan. Bill, covering humanate, innovate.
Had two T's. So. Yeah. Anyway, anything? Oh, sorry, we're joking here, but did you have any thoughts?
Not right now.
No?
That was my thought. Just thinking in this whole aspect of basically taking the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
And starting to fit them together. They all have rough edges.
Yeah.
But trying to smooth them out to get the outcomes that you want efficient way. And ultimately, it's not any of that. It's bringing something that you're going to create value, whoever you're targeting and looking after for the work you do. So that's what I think is great.
Who do you want to help? What's the big problem they have? And what's the solution? And as soon as you have that algorithm running, people always say, how do you come up with so many big ideas? But I said, who do they want to help? What's the big problem nobody's helping them with? And then what's the solution to it? It's always usually common sense.
And they don't care about your solutions, they care about their problems. So
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
key.
Say you have this problem, I can help you solve it. Oh, okay. AI could solve a lot of problems. Okay, well, thanks for coming today, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Have a great,
Thanks,
have a
Tom.
big idea
Thanks.
AI day. All right, bye.
Okay. Thanks, Bill.
Well,
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.